Welcome back to episode 16 of the On Tour with Chris Lee podcast. Get ready for FGL.
Here comes Mr. Lee. 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 Here comes Mr. Lee.
What is up, boys and girls, women and men, halfsies,
dogs, cats.
Maybe you haven't decided if you're a he
unicorn,
or a she.
They.
And that's okay.
Yeah,
All is welcome here. Thank you guys for coming back and listening to our shenanigans again. The lovely Alison Lee.
Clinton Lee. Clinton Lee.
Okay.
That's me.
She keeps holding on to the last name Clinton. I don't
Forever.
understand it. Why? I think it just, people hear Clinton, they think lies, deceit.
No, you do.
Emails.
Why don't you think Clinton? Oh, the woman I fell in love with.
I don't think about the Clinton. I think about the Alison part of it, and I think about that ass of yours at 19 years old.
Yeah, it's not the same ass.
No, it's better.
Oh, yeah.
It's better.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I haven't hit the
It
floor
ages
yet,
like fine wine.
Okay, gross. We're not going to sit here and discuss the most inappropriate things about me you always bring up.
Yeah. So we have a good episode for you today.
We do.
Well, we have not a great episode, but a good episode.
It's like a B minus, probably.
We have FGL, which the original FGL, Felix Grundy Lee, the legend, my great-great-grandfather is going to be on this episode
What?
with us, and I'm very excited about that because anytime you get to talk to a dead person, I think it's a good day.
It's a unique day.
Yeah.
It's really, really weird. Okay.
So
yes.
it's really, she's never met him before, so this will be, I guarantee you, there was nothing like that looked like you running around there back in his heyday. I assure you that. And he was I wouldn't say a ladies' man, but from what my grandfather told me, he really liked the ladies. Mm-hmm. He was like 80-something years old. And Papa, that's what I call him, Papa, is my grandfather, told me a story one time that they're sitting out like a little downtown area, this park bench, and this girl comes walking by, and he says, Paul is what he called him, watched her walk all the way around and then around the corner, would not take his eyes off this girl. He was like 80-something years old. And he said, Paul, when are you going to be too old to start looking at them ladies like that? And he said, boy, you're going to have to ask someone older than me.
That's a great answer.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So it's in my blood.
It is.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's ingrained in me.
Yeah.
So we had the inauguration yesterday. I know Alison's just super stoked about that. Her guy, whether he won it fairly or didn't win it fairly, most people I think would say he cheated, did not win the election fairly. But anyway,
Wrong.
we're not going to, very good use of wrong. We're not going to turn this into a purple house, I promise. But anyway, regardless.
You're the only one talking about that.
We have a new president, President Joe Biden. And you know what? I wish him well. On this, I always think this day, no matter what the outcome is, whether I approve or disapprove or agree or disagree, I always enjoy it because it's an American thing. It's such a great part of our democracy. And it's always a beautiful affair. And I like seeing the guest singers and everything. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was really, really cool. I have to just keep in mind, from my own well-being, that there's going to come days where we're going to argue about this stuff and we're going to be divisive again.
Right.
And I'm going to disagree with probably a lot of the things that he's going to try to do over the next 4 years. Mm-hmm. But for this day, I'm going to appreciate what this is, and I'm going to appreciate our democracy and the beautiful transformation of power. And I thought it was really, really cool. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it. What did you think?
I thought it was beautiful. I thought the pageantry of it was so nice, and the flags were just gorgeous, and all those flags in the mall to represent those that couldn't be there because of COVID, or those that had passed away due to COVID. I mean, it was just so beautifully symbolic, and I thought that people were very respectable, I guess, as far as staying away from the inauguration, which I thought was really nice. And there was no demonstrations or interruptions in that regard. I thought I was really proud. It was a while since I felt proud to be an American. Yesterday, I was proud of our country for being, for coming together, and it felt peaceful. It felt calm again. I felt the wave of
Well, hang
peace.
on. When is the last time before this that you felt proud to be an American?
Probably before the last administration.
Really? So
Yeah.
the president is going to dictate
No,
who's
but
in office is going to dictate whether you're proud to be an American or not? I would think both your brothers that have served in the military would have something to do with that.
well, yeah. I mean, I'm incredibly proud of our
You and I
Air
are-
Force and our military, but the way we had been acting for the last 4 years was embarrassing. That was an
I agree.
embarrassment.
The way that your folks have been acting for the last 4 years have been embarrassing.
Your folks were the ones that stormed the Capitol 2 weeks
Okay.
ago.
Well,
We're
we
not
finally
doing the Purple
protest.
House.
Our folks finally protest. Well, you're luring me into a Purple House. You know what?
You asked what I thought.
I'm taking this hat off.
Okay. Really? Are we doing this?
I'm putting this one
I
on.
was going to say how pretty you looked in blue.
I do like that
Oh,
hat.
I like the hat too.
I do like that hat.
And my hair's purple for you.
But I just want to say this. And again, yeah, we're not going to turn this into a Purple
that is
House.
ugly. I can't believe I even brought that over.
But first off, MAGA is not going anywhere.
No, it's not.
It's not going anywhere. You know, people have... You listened to the liberal media yesterday, and
No, we actually watched Fox.
we did, but we
in the
also
morning.
watched ABC News. And
Watched Good Morning America.
even on Joe Biden's day, they're still talking about President Trump, and they're talking about, oh, the Republican Party is lost, and they have no direction and everything. I happen to think President Trump has come along, ex-President Trump has come along and revitalized our party. There is excitement in the Republican Party, and he's unveiled these beliefs and this energy of people that I felt like I knew was always there, but it's not the same old Republican Party.
No,
It's
it's
not
not.
your grandfather's Republican Party. It's very, very different, and there's a lot of energy. And I'm happy. I wish we had won the election, but I'm excited at the future, and I can't wait to see what rock star we trot out in 4 years to challenge Joe Biden.
Okay.
We'll see.
Good, honey.
We'll see.
Okay. Are you over this?
Okay, I'll
Are you
take the
done?
hat. I'll
Okay.
take the hat off.
Thank
I'll take
you.
the hat off. I'll put the.
I'm not starting that fight with
yeah.
you. I'm ready for some peace. I'm ready for some chill.
Isn't it funny that you guys have been the most divisive I've ever seen anyone in the history of my 43 years. And all of a sudden, after you win the election, you're like, what? Why can't we just have unity? Why can't we all just get along and coexist?
I
and
think we
everything?
realized that how divided we really are because, he still received so many millions of votes and so he still had so much support. We're still incredibly divided. So I think we all realize we need to come together if we're going to make this country better.
I wish you had come to that realization over the past 4 years. That's all I'm saying. I think the hypocrisy for this is,
Hypocrisy?
yes, it's ridiculous.
Hypocrisy or is it hypocrisy?
Hypocrisy.
Hip-hop
Hip Hop Anonymous.
Anyway, can we move on? You're upsetting
Sure,
me.
I'm upsetting you, but
You are. And I'm so depressing. But I will say the fashion yesterday was amazing.
oh my gosh.
And I loved how some of the first ladies were wearing purple. Shout out to the Purple House to make a blended, unity, like Hillary Clinton and
Gosh.
Laura Bush and Kamala Harris. They all looked so beautiful, but no one could top my man Bernie Sanders with his mittens.
Oh man.
I'm telling you, that was maybe the greatest. He just doesn't care, and I love that. When you see authenticity, you have to just applaud it. I love it. Everybody was all like to the nines, and he's like, whatever. Love you, Bernie.
Obviously,
Funny.
I'm at the polar opposite from Bernie as far as belief
Right.
system politically and everything, but I can appreciate that he's real.
Right.
That I don't think there's a lot of bullshit coming from him. I think he says what he thinks, and he means what he says.
Yeah. I think it was great. So, yeah. And I loved when J-Lo was doing her performance, she shouted out in the middle of it, "Let's get loud." Really, we're going to do a plug to ourselves in the middle of an inaugurational song. Good one. Awesome, J-Lo.
How about Garth Brooks receiving so much ridicule? Now, I guess you would consider this a country music podcast because I'm in the country music industry. But I look at socials, which is my first mistake. I look at socials and there is so much hate towards, well, first of all, there's a lot of hate towards Tim McGraw and Tyler Hubbard of FGL, which I can attest are both great human beings. And Garth Brooks, some people, I can attest there. He's the nicest human being you'll ever meet. And he's just, I've met him twice and he was incredible to me. And he's just a great, charitable, down-to-earth guy. Anyway, he's getting so much hate from the country music, the right country music community on being at this inauguration and performing and everything. And I don't get it. If I were asked to perform, whatever, I'm going to play the kazoo or something, at Joe Biden's inauguration, at Barack Obama's, it's the president of the United States. It's the inauguration. I'll get over it. Our political differences. What an honor that is. What a duty and opportunity to be able to perform at something like that.
First of all, country music, chill. You have so much to thank Garth Brooks for what he's done to your industry. So get over yourselves. You probably wouldn't be quite where you are without him. And second, he performed at Obama's. And he was quoted in a magazine at one point saying, "Well, if I have to be the nicest Republican in the room, I will be at Inauguration Day." Like, who cares where you are? He said his father served in the military, and this was his way of giving back to his country. So, guys, get over it.
Why didn't he, if he performed at Obama's and he performed at Joe Biden's, why didn't he perform at President Trump's?
I don't know that he was asked, yeah. So,
who did perform? Do you remember?
Exactly. Toby Keith.
Wow, there you go.
Toby Keith.
I mean, he's
and
from
then
Oklahoma,
somebody
but
that was nobody knew of. He didn't quite have the A-list.
He doesn't need
people jumping out.
He doesn't need a bunch of people to help him.
But Katy Perry looks
special.
so pretty, and with all the fireworks behind her. I'm sorry. Oh, it's just so pretty. And
gosh. Lady
Lady Gaga looked gorgeous. I thought she looked like Evita. You said she looked like Hunger Games, whatever. But I thought it was beautiful, and I was really proud to see, Kamala Harris be, sworn in the highest office a woman has ever held. That's pretty cool.
So proud.
Buddy?
What are we, buddy? What are we going to do now?
We have
you
no
realize
tweets.
we're probably going to have the most boring presidency, and I think everybody wants this.
Yeah.
With Joe Biden, this is going to be so boring, and there's not going to be these tweets that we're able to take and run with and post on headlines and everything. So we're going to be super, super bored. And it just so happens to happen at a time that we're running out of shows to watch on Netflix.
No.
We just got into The Queen's Gambit, and
gosh.
it's really, really cool. I don't want to give any
good.
spoilers because I think it's somewhat new out on Netflix. It's new to us anyway. We're 3 episodes in. But we just finished Cobra Kai, which I love. I think you love. Our whole family watches it together, much like we did with Stranger Things.
I know. And that's coming out in July, I think. So
Spoiler alert.
Yay!
Spoiler alert on Cobra Kai.
No.
If you have not seen it, if you have not watched episode 3, fast forward to this.
Episode 3.
Or
Season 3.
Season 3. If you have not watched season 3, just fast forward this and don't listen to what I'm about to tell you. But I'm a little disappointed that Allie and Johnny didn't really connect.
Well,
they didn't end up together.
She's tied to another show. So she can't be on that long term. She's on another Netflix show or HBO show. So she came back for an appearance.
I don't care about what's going on in real life. I just, story-wise,
well, I'm sorry, honey.
I like Miguel's mom. She's really cute and everything. She kind of freaked me out with the conversation.
Yeah, you're spoiling it.
After they had, yes, I'm giving
Stop.
spoilers.
Stop.
I gave a warning to say, if you don't want to hear
But
this,
you didn't give them
forward
time
on.
to put stuff down.
You just touch the fucking button. That's how you fast forward, or you press stop.
Okay, sorry. I don't.
My gosh, Al. It's not like they have to rewind the tape or fast forward it.
I'm such a boomer.
Anyway.
Oh, Lord.
But so Miguel's mom has the conversation of what's next for us, which is what every guy wants to hear the first time he has sex with a woman.
Brush your teeth first, lady.
Hey, let's make some more plans, right? Where do we go from here? When do I take your last name?
Or add it to mine.
So she's cool, but I think the show would have had the ultimate justice if Johnny would have ended up with Allie. I just felt like Allie was torn away from him, from that smart ass from Jersey that lived in Reseda, Danielson. And I think it would have been really cool if they would have ended up together in that season. But
can you believe that Ralph Macchio is almost 60 years old?
That is crazy.
He looks like he's about 15.
We're old, Al.
Whoa.
We are so old.
I act like a boomer, but I'm 30, flirty, and thriving. So
yeah, of course you are.
Speak yourself. But John Kreese is the best villain of all time.
Dude, he is so awesome.
Like, he could be the nicest man in real life, and I would be scared shitless of him.
And he hasn't changed much.
No.
I mean, the other two, Daniel and...
They still look good, too. But he hasn't changed at all.
Yeah. It's amazing to me. I mean, this is probably the only time this has ever happened, where a movie, 35 years later, the original characters make a TV show out of the same movie in real time, and it's successful. I mean, it's great. This show is, I think it's pretty rare if you saw The Karate Kid, but you have not watched Cobra Kai. But I assure you, the same nostalgic allure, the kind of cheesiness in the acting, it's here on this TV show. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. And it's cheesy, but it's like, it's necessary. And the music is so good. And
yeah, very true to form. They could have made this where it was like overly dramatic, overly dark, and just gone a different direction.
But they also make it like relevant for today's time. So it's very well, I mean, it is excellent. Very, very well done. But they're trying to bring back Sex in the City, and it's like, nobody asked for that. Like, it's hard to get remakes and people on board for those remakes. Yeah. So this one, just all the stars aligned, and it's so good.
Yeah. I think in a lot of instances, you would be depressed at seeing an old Daniel and an old Johnny. But it works here because it's like, well, they're my age now, or they're a little bit older than me now. But I remember seeing them when they were kids because I was a kid. So you're right.
So good.
I think it works. One of the things that's kind of weird about the show, though, for me, and I guess it's just being more progressive and more playing into the fanfare of equality, but there's a lot of boys hitting girls in these fight scenes. And it bothers me so much when I see this. So I'm watching Ralph Macchio's daughter, I forgot her name, but she's fighting and a boy comes and like kicks her right in the chest, like right in the boobs.
But I think at that moment they're opponents because they compete against each other in matches. So they're competing like teams upon teams, like gangs almost. It's kind of what it appears. Yeah. But I get what you're saying. But I think they're saying fight like a man.
Okay.
She's going to fight like that, then I'm going to fight back like that back.
If you're fighting, like if you take up karate, and I know that you could use karate on me, I have full reins just to whip your ass. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you and I were doing jiu-jitsu.
Maybe you should start taking karate.
You wouldn't want me to start taking karate.
You were good at jiu-jitsu too. You were getting it.
I was.
And I noticed though she got really, really, like maybe she was taking advantage of being able to do jiu-jitsu and cause physical harm on me because she would really assert those chokeholds sometimes, and they were not fun. We do have a very special guest for you now. If you have never heard any of my previous podcasts, he's just a real treat. To talk to Alison.
Retreat.
a dead person from, 150 years ago? Something like that.
A magical land.
It's crazy. So without further ado, please welcome Felix Grundy Lee.
When Hell's Gates finally open for the retribution of our sins, the roses turn to ambers, left blowing in the wind. And be just one man standing at the mountain's highest peak, and that man is Felix Grundy Lee.
All right, with no further ado, my great-great-grandfather. Are you okay? My goodness.
I have some kind of a Spaniard virus.
Oh, my goodness. You need to get that checked out. I mean, put a mask on.
A mask? Like a white mask with 2 eye holes?
No.
And a cone on top?
No. By all means, don't wear that mask, but, maybe let the government take care of you. Get a stimulus check or something.
A stimulus?
Yeah. I mean, you're going to need some assistance. Take us, for example. I haven't really worked in like 10 months, and the government sends me a check, and it's a pain in the ass sometimes because
I'll just go back to work.
Okay. Well, tell me how the family is.
Well, after a long and dry engine summer, I sit and reflect on this year's production, which was barren. Barren is my young wife's aspirations of bearing any more children.
It's not
And
funny.
as we batten down for an early winter, I'm reminded of my life's milestones at this junction, or lack thereof. If I were to use my father's experiences as a meter, at my age he had already passed away from consumption. So now I stand at the foothills of my own immortality, yearning for my yesteryears, longing for adolescence, and cursing maturity. Today my youngest girl abandoned her education to take up help at the sawmill. And like me many years before, she has abandoned her youthful innocence as she takes up the wood saw and stows away the jute twine that I just recently secured from a celestial trader.
My gosh. I mean, our daughter had to start doing virtual learning. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty tough too. Thank you very much, Felix Grundy Lee, my great-great-grandfather, for being on the podcast with us today. Thank you guys for being on here again, for being on here. Thank you.
Hell are y'all doing on here?
Yes. Thank you for listening to this podcast again. We do this every week. And so next week, I'm not going to give away our guest, but it's going to be somebody very, very special.
I don't think you have a clue who it is.
I have a rough idea. I have it narrowed down to about 15 people.
Are we going to see them at all?
Maybe.
Okay,
maybe.
cool.
Leave a comment below if you have a special request, like, hey, I'd love to hear from the monitor guy from Blake Shelton or somebody like that. I don't even know who that is. But drop it in the comment below.
That's so random.
If you're able to, if you're listening on iTunes or some other podcast platform, please rate this for us and leave a comment as well. We just need all the help we can get these days.
Tell us
really.
some shows to watch.
Yes, tell us some
That's what
Netflix
I
shows
want.
to watch. We're on the Queen's Gambit right now, but at some point we're going to run out of the episodes of this show, and we're going to have to move on to something else.
Oh, brother. Or talk. Ugh.
That's right. Or talk to each other.
Jeez.
Jeez. Talk politics.
Hey, have a great rest of the week. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. God bless you.
Here comes Mr. Lee. Here comes Mr. Lee. Here comes Mr. Lee.
Te amo, Señor Lee.
Here comes Mr. Lee. Here comes Mr. Lee. Here comes Mr. Lee.